Welcome to Unfiltered Hummingbird. I am your host, Camellia. Hey, we're going to unpack some questions, interview some guests, have a little fun together. Come on, let's get to it. With me again, Alise, thank you so much. We have Dr. Alise Cortez. We're going to be talking about her upcoming book. It's almost out, shouldn't it be? Coloring Life, How Loss Invites Us to Live More Vibrant Lives. Oh, this is going to change your life. Alise, welcome so much to the show.
Camellia, thank you for having me back. It's so amazing to be in your world.
We share this world.
I know, and we're co-creating it as we go.
Oh, I like that. That we are definitely doing that. Hey, so we're gonna thank you so much for coming back. We're gonna talk about two whispers that you mentioned in your book. It's talking about being courageous in your pursuits and live life like there's no tomorrow. Those are beautiful to me. And I think those are definitely worth talking about because so many people need this.
I keep meeting them over and over again, Camellia. I was just speaking at an event yesterday about Grab Your Gusto, and I brought my books for sale, and people heard about Coloring Life, and they just came up to me and said, "Oh my gosh, I lost this person, or this happened in my life." And it's a gravitational pull, Camellia. It's really, it creates a community, and it's really beautiful.
You're exactly right.
Well, I think we've talked about this a little bit before between us, but I think probably it makes sense for your listeners to hear just a little bit about where this book came from and what's it about, and then I'll as you're ready, I'll go to the whispers. Is that all right?
That's right. Come on, let's
Okay.
go.
All
Let's
right,
get
let's
to
do it.
it.
Okay, this book all came from. It was born from an experience that I had in January of 2019 when both of my parents died 28 days apart. And as it was, I knew about my mother's is the one that went first, and so I was kind of ready for that. And I had a couple of friends who told me write everything down as you go through this process. And thank goodness for that advice, because if they hadn't told me that, Camellia, the book would not be out and about. I would have lost all the details. And so it came from capturing that experience of losing both of my parents 28 days apart, and then what did that experience really mean to me? And it's a front row seat of loss. What's it like to lose people you really love and cherish? And that was really designed. I shared it because I became aware that my sharing became somebody else's therapy. So the more that I shared, the more people could really understand their own experience of loss, and my words help them put words to their experience and therefore clarify it and move through it. So that's what the first part of the book is about. And then, as you know, the second part of the book is on reflection. I considered the 7 whispers of wisdom I got from the experiences that I also wanted to share that were encouraging to people, that help them steward their path forward. So from loss to transformation and growth. So that's what the book is about. Any other thoughts you want to chime in with before I go into the whispers?
I think that's pivotal is because you were able to, not only did they tell you to write it down, but you did it. You wrote it
I was
down.
very obedient. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's key, right? You have to have action, right? That action to write it down and how it has transformed. Not only I think it's healing for you, but for so many others, because that's how we get healing, and we get pulled out of that dark place in our life, right? Where we think that we're the only ones. But you sharing these whispers is definitely helpful to so many people.
Mm. And you know what I've really so enjoyed, Camellia, is when people have read the manuscript, or or they've heard one of our conversations. If they've said, hearing your story really helped me better understand my own and open something for me and help me process and move through my own loss. And that's what I wanted, Camellia. I wanted this really to be it's really almost a book about ministering hope and
Yes.
possibility and growth. And I am a non-denominational ordained minister. I'm a logotherapist. That's all undergirding the way that I write the story. So that's there. And I do intend it to be very much healing and growing and ushering a new and better life for tomorrow, for sure.
That's exactly what it does as well, because we need that. So, our first whisper, we're going to talk about being courageous in your pursuit. There's so much you can unpack with that. So, tell me.
Tell me how to be courageous in
Look,
my
look, look.
pursuits. So
Tell me.
tell me, just bring it. Well, one of the things that I really became aware of, and I do say this in the book, my own losses. I mean, I lost my grandmother years ago, but losing my parents really was a spur. It was like, oh my gosh, this whole thing, this death thing, it's real. It's kind of stares you in the face when you lose people that you really care about. And it kind of forces a bit of a reset. And it kind of forces you to get out of the doldrums of, oh, tomorrow, I'll get to that tomorrow.
Mhm,
I always have,
mhm,
more, I'm young, I've got all this in my life. And
mhm,
so, one of the whispers of wisdom that I got from those losses was to be courageous in my pursuits. And what I really put forth in that particular segment of the book was it doesn't even matter if you realize those pursuits. It's the striving and reaching for them that really matters. Because if you don't reach for them, if you don't strive for them, you will never forgive yourself when you get to the end,
mhm,
wishing that you had gone after those things. And that loss, and this is what it did for me too, it can give us crazy energy and focus. I've had many people tell me after they lost somebody, I wonder if I'm doing enough with my life the way that I want to. So it's like
wow.
a wake up call, right? It's like spurs you to action and be mindful about your focus and where you're bringing what you really want to make happen in your life. And I think that's incredibly valuable, right? Instead of just, being allowing life to pick you up and swirl you around, you have a better decision or action, if you will, to be able to put your energies where you want them to realize what's important to you. And I think that's really powerful.
Oh, yes, it is. It's, you say, "Don't let fear stop you."
Absolutely. And fear is a really important critical emotion that we live with as human beings, and it has really really valuable utility, except when you allow it to stop you to realize your dreams or go after your dreams. It's great
Amen.
for, right, it's great for you're afraid because you're trying to cross the freeway and there are cars barreling down on you and your fear drives you to run fast. Great,
Mhm,
wonderful thing.
mhm.
But so where it gets problematic is when we allow that fear to stop us from going after what really matters in our lives. And so that courage comes from, being inspired and really wanting and desiring. And of course, as I also say in the book, you're going to need fortification for that. You need support around that. So
Mhm.
don't do this stuff alone.
Yes.
You and I are already a support system for each other, right?
Mhm.
And so going after what our most precious pursuits also means enrolling the right people for resources, for help, for support
Right,
as well, right?
right, right. And you also stay away from those who say your dreams are impossible.
Yes.
You need new friends.
Right. Oh, and you know what's so great about that particular thing, Camellia? I've seen this borne out in cultures and ethnicities all over the world. It's this thing of people that are close to you don't want to see you stray from the tribe because if you stray too far, that makes them question their own lives, their own choices. And that's part of the reason they tell you not to go after your dreams because they're afraid that if you do, you're going to leave them behind. Or if you
Yeah.
do, you're going to showcase that maybe they're not going after theirs. So recognize that's what's going on and then, choose people that can help enable and elevate you and give you the
Mhm.
resource and tools that you need to go after to get what you actually want. So important.
Right.
You can't do it by yourself, by the way, right? We know
Right,
that.
right, right. So you got to be mindful of the company that you keep. You're among
Yes.
wise people, you will become wise.
That's right. That's right.
So it matters who your friends are and who you hang around. That's so key.
It really does. And that really also speaks to the other whisper of wisdom that we wanted to talk about today, and that's live like there's no tomorrow.
Right.
Be very mindful of who you're spending your time with in your one precious life. Because think about this, right, Amelia? Life has a definitive end to it, and we don't know when the exit ramp is coming. So it's better to
Mhm.
be fully prepared and live every single day like there is no tomorrow, because we really don't know when tomorrow ends.
Mhm.
And so one of the things that's really great about death is that it fires purpose. Part of the reason that purpose works in life is because we know we're going to go, but we just don't know when. And so it gives us a sense of urgency to act on our dreams, our desires, to be the person that we want to become, to touch the lives that we want to touch, right? To matter in the way that we want to matter. And so living like there's no tomorrow really speaks to being present to what kind of life do you really want to live. And one of the things I love to have people do in my workshops is to write their eulogy, their good story of their life.
Wow.
It's right. That's where, right? Think about that. I did that some years
Wow.
ago, and it totally altered my life, Camellia, well
Oh
before
my
my
goodness.
parents passed. And when I did it, you get to the end and you say, what do you want your life to stand for? Who's there? What are people saying about you? And then you live into that. And what it does is it clears away all the muck and gunk. It really doesn't have any utility in your life that you shouldn't be focused on. And you can just push it out of the way and focus on becoming that person that you really want to realize in that eulogy. Very powerful.
Yeah, let's sit with that one right there. Write your own eulogy. What are people gonna say after you're gone? I mean, you said something when you said death fires purpose. Now, if we're mindful, Elise, if we're really mindful of that statement, I mean, we would live today like there's no tomorrow. I
Right.
mean, my mother-in-law would say, "No, I have today. Today I'm gonna do these things because you don't know what the next moment is gonna be. Today I'm gonna forgive. Oh, today is that's not a big deal. That in the grand scheme of things, that does not matter. But sitting with the fact that death fires first. I mean, and like you lost both your parents within 28 days. Yeah, that's gonna make me like, okay, yeah, this is real. I need to get on with doing what I need to be doing. And if I don't know, I need to seek out somebody to help me get it out so I'll know and get busy about it."
Yeah, it's really got a sobering effect, Camellia, right? When you
Mm-hmm.
really see, for me, like when my parents passed, I will tell you, there's no way that I really would have really fully pursued. I was already in the path to pursue, this really specific niche of meaning and purpose in my consultancy in the middle of 2018 when my parents passed in January 2019. And I had a plan in place. I was executing it, but there's no way that I would have gone after that plan and focused as strong as I did had they not passed. Because
Mm-hmm.
it was sobering. It was like, gosh, I don't know how long I get, and I want to
Mm-hmm.
matter. I want to make this difference. And so, when you start thinking about from the vantage point of logotherapy, which is really it undergirds that philosophy, undergirds the whole book. It has really three core assumptions to it, and that one is life has meaning under all circumstances, even the most miserable ones. So whatever happens to us, there's meaning in it for us, and meaning is energizing. And two, humankind's main motivation for living is the will to find meaning in life. So we can always find that, even in loss, and especially in loss, that can really gird us to our heights. And then the third assumption in logotherapy that's important for this is people have the freedom to find meaning in what they do and what they experience, or at
Wow.
least take a stand in whatever they face, whatever life throws at them. They could take a stand, and from the stimulus to the response, choose how to respond. And there's so much power in that, right? I
Wow.
love the empowerment piece of that.
That is because we can get so comfortable, and that is an enemy of your
Oh,
dreams. That
oh,
is an enemy. We have to get used to being uncomfortable because when we're pursuing our purpose, our dream, oh, it's going to take some work, and fear is going to come in. And I've learned, at least, and maybe, and I'm sure you have too, the best thing out of fear is action. You got to have a course
yes,
of action,
yes, yes. Well, and here's the good news: if you recognize that fear welling up, I think that tells you you're on a good right track.
right?
Right? Ooh, I'm kind of shaking in my shoes a little bit here. I guess this is a good right track. There's somebody told me this some time ago, Camellia, and I know you'll appreciate this. If what you're going after doesn't cause a small stream of urine to run down your legs, you're probably not dreaming big enough.
I love it.
Right?
I
There's that
love it.
great
I
laugh.
love it. I like that. That's good because it would make you so scared, but you're like, "Ugh." I told somebody earlier today, it's like jumping off of a bridge where you can't go back, so you might as well go for it.
It's so true, right? I mean, once you take the foot off the side, you're going down. So you're either going to sprout those wings on the way down, or you're going to find some way to land when you get there.
Right. Elise, it has been such a great joy speaking with you. We only have a short amount of time, but I just want to invite you to make sure invite our listeners to your book tour. I know you have a book tour going on. It's coming up. And listeners, make sure you go and get a chance to, if you're local here in Dallas, Texas, get a chance to go out and meet Elise. But Elise, tell us where you're going to be.
Yeah, so March 22nd, I will be here in Dallas in the evening at Times 10 Cellars, and you can register for that event on Eventbrite. And then I'll be in Fort Worth March 29th at 6 o'clock at the Magnolia Wine Bar. And of course, Camellia is going to be there with me as my VIP guest.
I
And then if you want
am.
to learn more about the tour, you can go to alisecortez.com/books. And I have the whole list of dates in the city. So you can come find your city so that you're ready, or reach out to me if you know you want to attend. And I'll make sure that we get you hooked up so you can be part of the events.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Elise. Listeners, you get a chance, go out to one of those local events. And And you can also order Dr. Elise's book, Color in Life: How Loss Invites Us to Live More Vibrant Lives, on soupllc.com. Thank you so much. Elise, thank you so much for being on the show once again.
Camellia, thanks for having me. You are an absolute delight.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, Camellia, this is so fun. I think.
All right, that's all we have for today. Join me next time on Unfiltered Hummingbird. I am your host, Camellia. Until then, have a blessed day.